I guess the only thing I didn't cover is SLAM and SMART, which is, what, did I write them down here? Yeah. SLAM is stop, look, analyze, and manage. And SMART is stop, measure, act, review, and train. Alright, look, A mechanics is going to get you there. It's the same thing, and those are great little tricks. I personally play is a great one. Plan, layout, A mechanics of the Y factors that go into what you're doing. That's what play you have to do this. And when you do that, what are you doing? You've stopped for a second. You've taken that same second to go play. Slam. Stop, look, analyze, manage. You're going smart. Stop, measure, act, review, train. One of my bigger ones is survival, and I know that's going to bother a few people, but remember, this is A mechanics. You can make that thing, and you can make that anything you want it to be after the conversation happens. Look at what they were, in that video for it. Look at what they were doing. They were just breaking down the laws of motion of what was happening, the analyzation, the direct physics of what was happening. They're making that conversation survive longer. They're making SLAM survive, prove it exists. A mechanics is proving that quantum gravity exists and it can flow like general relativity. So survive is survey your environment, utilize your resources. Um, R. Review your information, whatever R you want it to be. A is Apple, A is anything you want it to be. Gravity, it's literally anything you want it to do. And by understanding those anagrams, war, the war of thinking about those things, is weighing a mechanical resistances that go against this. Why is safety standards fighting so hard to make it work in this conversation? There's a way to do it, but you got to work out the mechanics. How do you make this play with the resources and tools you have in front of you while making it survive? Like the military survival guide says, survey your resources and utilize and all that other good job that I can't remember right offhand. You'll be glad you wrote notes. Beyond that, some of the difficult ones, and again, I don't always agree with the standard about, their hazard forms and things like that. I think they just give you the general form. This is what all that is. It's 2 or 3 pages. Everybody gets to keep this. But on one side of it, if you understand that you just train somebody as a safety officer to take your job potentially. It's a dangerous game sometimes that you play. Most of them don't ever take it that far. And if you're doing your great job anyways and doing it right, there's no reason that you would ever have to worry about the boss firing you, and again, if that's OSHA itself, the only reason somebody replaces you is because of just mechanics. Bottom line is super string theory. Now again, I'll say Doreen, she does a great job. Mike does a good job. Randy does a good job. I don't want their managerial position. I'll stand, what do they call them? A stand-in when ready, then just in case. The number 3, whatever you want to call it. Number 4, I don't care. Wherever it is for the time management, where the only thing that would make me any faster apt to do that than anybody else's attitude is skill development, is the standard that I bring to that conversation. And when somebody else looks at me for other reasons, there's no bullshit about why it is what it is. Pay is, I hate to say it, but secondary to that aspect, because at the end of the day, there's still a time reality that you have to play into that standard just because skill development takes time. And not just skill development, but specific skill development at that point in time, that place. Prime factors mathematically. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Couldn't help myself. Where and when. Prime is where and when. Prime is the only time when itself, by itself, when it's time to something doesn't equal that number and by itself. Where and when. It's weird. You got to understand it's $1 million STEM problem, and it's not. When you crack it, it's about going for a direct physics class, being a math teacher. Where and when does that apply? By taking that thing and making it prime, turning that engine with it. Survival, slam, smart, whatever. I don't know. That's something different. And like I said, I think it's important for me. I'm just learning along the way. I got to do it everywhere. It's not a question, it's a reality for me. Universal field theory means everywhere. I know it. Now I just got to prove it everywhere. And when I get enough of it, when I get enough grinders, when I get enough things one day and I'm off probation and I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do, it's all good. It's all great. But I hear they like you to be working on probation. If you're fucking off, not doing whatever, absolutely succeeding and doing other things. But, those are zero Higgs point energies for me. And they actually talk about it in one of these concepts here. Zeroing out the system and 0 point safety hazard zones is what I picked out of that. I don't exactly remember what it was. Is when I generalize the system, when I'm laying block, that's what it is. And then there's weird little blocks about things that aren't this perfectly square block that you lay on the table. This very light one stone that you would lay on a very light table that you have to turn down the RPMs for because it'll kick it across the table or it'll fuck up the bottom edge of it or something. Those are the 0 point safety stand, not just the safety standards, but Murphy's physics. Higgs energies is what I call them. They're massless photons that matter. When the weight changes, it's still a rock. It's still this Big Bang concept that's, this is a point. A point is time. A point is, when you're laying out the notes, a concept, a name, everything. A rock. I just don't know what its mass is. Could be silver, could be gold, could be copper, could be brass, could be hydrogen. What? Hydrogen's not a metal. No, it's not, but it takes up the same shape when you break it apart with the points in physics, in psychology. Look, I didn't want to be smart until after I graduated high school. But when I did, I got real fucking smart. And this stuff really helped me. Safety standards, managerial standards, quantum mechanics. Absolutely critical. And when you get good, you can tap into them and really start moving. Catch you on the next one.